Dr. Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress Party, Member of Parliament. Dr. Singhvi, thank you for joining us. Obviously, a deeply disappointing day for the Congress, and I think since 2014 we've spoken every time there is a Congress setback to hear the words that the party will introspect and it will go into the reasons why this happened. But what is the earth-shattering change you believe needs to happen now for the Congress to remain a relevant player in politics?
Well, Nidhi, first and foremost, you must give me some brownie points for being here to be available as mincemeat making for you, because we've done very badly. I believe in being upfront and candid. I really, prior to the exit polls, had said that there is a very sad decline in Punjab prior to the exit polls. And I said that because of the two reasons I said in NDTV in the morning today. I won't repeat them. But what is the true shocker for me in today's election, genuinely, is Uttarakhand and Goa. I had still till 9:30 in the morning, in fact on your show, said that Goa and Uttarakhand should be in the Congress bag. Goa is the single largest. So I find that very, very disappointing. I think I will of course not use the word introspection, but two things I will say. One, 2024 cannot be facile, and I of course would congratulate Mr. Modi and his party for a spectacular 4-1. I would congratulate Mr. Aap and Kejriwal for another spectacular thing. But don't make the mistake that Vajpayee ji made in 2003. 3 major victories in assembly elections, followed by the 2004 result. So I don't think it's that easy, but I think we need to do one thing. We need to, of course, have our internal elections done and dusted by August, September. But more importantly, go down state-wise. The 2024 elections have to be fought for the parliamentary elections in each state. Find a pole position for each state and gather around that pole position, submerge your egos. And Mr. Modi, at the best of his times, has not exceeded 39 to 40% vote. If you gather around the pole position of each state for the parliamentary election, not the state elections, you are able to do a good job. But that requires a lot of planning starting yesterday. It requires a lot of submergence of egos, and it requires a concerted effort. But it's not so simple to say that you won these state elections, therefore 2024 is in the bag.
Dr. Singhvi, good evening. Sanket here. My question to you is, since we are talking a lot about 2024, an obvious question will be asked of the opposition, and particularly the Congress party, whether it still considers itself in terms of winnability the fulcrum of the opposition with a defeat after defeat. Do you think that newer players like the Aam Aadmi Party, who in a matter of 8.5 years have managed 2 state assembly elections, have managed to win Delhi thrice, don't you think there will be more claimants for the central focal position for the opposition than the Congress?
Part of my previous answer covers your question, Sanket. Look, let me just elaborate. You go to a state, you have to decide that state level differences will remain. You will fight state elections, but for the 2024 anti-BJP space, you will get together. Point 1. Point 2, in each state, there is almost in 90% state a clearly identifiable pole player, the lead player. Be it the TMC in West Bengal, be it somebody else, maybe Mr. Patnaik in Odisha. You have to rally around him, keeping your state level differences with him intact. And you have to say that we will prevent vote division, come what may, in that state for the parliamentary seat. Well, if you do that, at least you make a genuine attempt to it. I don't think it's at all easy for the BJP to win the elections. But I understand and I accept it takes a lot of doing. You have to eliminate the static, you have to eliminate the divisiveness, you have to eliminate personal egos, you have to eliminate a huge amount of ambition. And for this formulation of mine, who will be the Prime Minister, who will be the fulcrum, should all be relevant. You are the fulcrum if you are the pole position in India Gate. She's the fulcrum if she's the pole position in another locality.
Dr. Singhvi, may I ask you the question that most Congress people don't want to honestly answer, which is that, is it time for the party to look beyond the Gandhi family? It's not working. Under Priyanka Gandhi's leadership in UP, you've actually had your worst performance. So is it time to just stand up and admit it's not working? We need to move on.
Two answers very quickly, Nidhi, pointedly to your pointed question. One, we are having state elections in August, September, and I am confident it will be done on time. Let's assume you have the state elections. Now, you have complete, genuine freedom, and it's not to be cynical, to stand in that election. Suppose in that election, in a free and fair nationwide election intra-party, Mr. ABC or Miss ABC are elected. On what basis do you say that you and I on the conversation on a television channel, or a supposed voter who's a mysterious, mythical voter, should impose somebody else other than the result of their election? That's just not a democratic way of doing it. And you like it or not, that is going to be the outcome. Which way it goes, it is open for all. Secondly, even the worst enemies of Priyanka Gandhi and of the Congress would admit that in a situation which was never at all even optimistically beside rosy, she brought energy, direction and momentum and a certain content to the whole campaign. Now remember, a voter votes for you because he looks at you as a winner. There was no way in which the Uttar Pradesh voter was going to look at us on that point of view. So I don't think our expectation of seats was high. But let me tell you, she did a very good job in energizing. I wish she had started a little earlier, but she's done a remarkable job in energizing and giving a lot of, esprit de corps to the whole thing.
All right. Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, thank you very much for joining us. I think while you say that, in the Congress party, anyone is free to stand for elections, say against Rahul Gandhi, hypothetically, ask a lot of your colleagues privately and they say it's not as easy. It's not as easy. I have to move on, Dr. Singhvi. I just have to move on with Sanket, and I have other guests. Thank you so much for joining us.